Hi, I'm Lucy, the face behind Duffy's Craft Days, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the mattress stitch to seam up the sides of a knitted pouch. You can also use the mattress stitch for joining two pieces of knitted or crochet work together. So for instance, if you were making a garment, to join the sections together, or if you were making a blanket and you were using smaller shapes and you wanted to seam those together. So we will get on with that. Okay, so now that we have cast off for our knitted pouch, what we need to do is stitch up the sides. So if you've calculated correctly, saying the sides, it's that way, you should have a yarn end, a reasonably length yarn end at both the start and the end of your project. So you're going to be able to use those to stitch up. So we're going this way. Now, because we've done moss stitch, both sides are actually pretty much the same, as in right and wrong. They're both kind of a right side. So it shouldn't matter too much which way you fold your work, unless you have had to join yarn part way through for some reason, in which case you may feel that that's the side you want to be inside. And we're going to use the mattress stitch to stitch up this project. Okay, and we're going to stitch up. Now the first thing I'm going to do is pop in a stitch marker in the center of this join, just to keep us on track. So if it starts to go off a little bit, it will help us to stay on course. These little lobster claw ones won't be much good to you for this, because you're trying to go through two sets of fabric. So you want a stitch marker that's got a nice big opening. Okay, so as I say, we've got our yarn end, our tail, that we can use, but what I'm actually going to do is use a contrast yarn just to show you how we do this mattress stitch. So you will be working with your tail, so you're not going to need to join your yarn at all. So we will just pop that right in there where that tail is coming out. I'm not going to fasten it securely, because obviously it's not how I'm actually going to finish this project. And then what we need to be doing is going through the bars of this work. So if we look at this closely, it's a little trickier because it's moss stitch rather than garter stitch. With garter stitch, those bars will be really easy to see. So we've got our right side facing us, and we want to pick up these bars. So that's your first one, and that's your second one. And we're just going to go in like that. So it might seem a little bit strange that we're going so far away from the join, but you will understand as we go through. Then going to go back in where this yarn started, back into that one, and we're going to go under the next two bars. So one there and one. Try and get it close enough for you to see. So first bar, second bar, we're going to pop through there. So I'm going quite loosely for now, and then you will see the magic happen in a moment. So again, back in where the needle came out last time, and pick up that first bar and that second bar. So what you'll find is you'll have one that's raised and one that's back, because that's how you've worked your moss stitch, isn't it? You've done a row of knit and a row of purl, which leaves those bumps. So your bars are those bumps. Okay, we're just going to keep going along like that. So back in where it came out, picking up one and two of those bars. So, and then what you'll see, if I pull now on these ends, you will see that yarn pretty much disappears, and that's what you want your work to look like at the end. So that's the inside, not particularly visible on that side either, maybe a little bit, but it's not going to matter anyway because we're going to be using the same yarn. I'm just using this contrast so you can see what I was doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and do that now using this yarn tail, and I will meet you back in a moment when we get to the end. Now, just to explain why this stitch marker's in there quickly, it's just in case you start to drift off course. So that stitch marker helps us to keep that straight edge. So it might be sometimes that you might have to make an adjustment. You might have to pick up 3 bars on one side to even it out, but we've got a nice straight edge, so it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, I'll see you back in a moment. So we're basically picking up 2 rows at a time, or a stitch from each row each time we go back in. So we're going back in where we came out last time on this side of the fabric, and there will be an innie and an outie. It's just the best way that I can think of to describe what we're looking for as we're working down this side seam. So there's a back stitch and a front stitch, so a knit and a purl. I think that knowing that that's what you're looking for helps you, because it can look a bit of a tangled mess almost when you first start to use the mattress stitch going up a side seam like this. You know, where are the bars you're looking for? You don't know if you're picking up the bars here or wherever, but I just find that the best description. An innie and an outie. That's just my weird mind, and I know that everybody's different. And again, we're just keeping it nice and loose as we're working it so we can see exactly where we're going back in, but then every so often we need to just pull and tighten these stitches. Like so. Making sure not to tighten the last stitch that you just worked, because that will make it easier for you to find that stitch again where you last came out on the reverse side or the opposite side. So again, an innie. I'm hoping that this is picking up okay. So we came out here. So now we've got the innie and the outie just right on the edge there. Just keep all the way along to the end. Like this. I just keep either a finger or my thumb in that gap until it gets to the point that they don't fit anymore. This is probably going to be the final one. I think this will probably close up with the gap now. So we're just going to go along again and just tighten these stitches. Making sure that you're pulling the right way and pulling these stitches and not the stitches this end that you're still working. So just, that's it. a little bit to start with. You'll see which stitches are starting to move. Okay, and then once we've closed that hole, it's, you know, you can see it just about if you look hard enough for it, but it does blend in really, really well with this moss stitch fabric. So the next thing we're going to do is just pop our needle through to the inside, turn our pouch inside out, and you'll see we've got this nice ridge inside. It gives us that nice solid seam, especially as we are going to be using this as a pouch, potentially a pencil case, a makeup case. You do not want that seam coming undone. So we'll now just go into that seam like so and come back in through the loop. Get that loop a bit smaller so you can see what I'm doing, to fasten off, because we don't want this coming undone, and pull quite tightly on that, and then we can just weave our end into this seam where it can get lost and not stand out and make any other area of the pouch too bulky. Just go back that way a little bit. And then finally, we can cut our yarn. And there we have our pouch. Nicely stitched together, nice and neat seams down the sides. And all that remains to be done is inserting our zipper. So I will show you that in the next video, the last video of this series. So keep an eye out for that. If you've enjoyed this mini tutorial showing you how to sew up the sides, then please like below. And if you want to be notified as soon as that next video goes live, then subscribe to my channel and you will get a notification. Thank you for watching.